fingers crossed, we should be live and back, and hopefully things will function. You will be seen when it does go live. Just
Oh, I think we're live.
oh,
I can see us.
oh, the
It's
bitrate
not lagging.
the bitrate's looking stable-ish. Okay, okay,
Bizarre.
we might have a hope in how. Um, so yes, 15th time is the charm. Welcome to our Olympic preview here on the Fastest Losers. I'm Alex, if you're new here.
I'm Chris, if you're new here.
And we're going to try and rattle through all of the sports from the Paris 2024 Olympics and give a bit of a preview. It's only 2 days to the opening ceremony.
I know, yeah, lots to do, and yeah, there's still drama going on this week already on the eve of the games, but yeah, I'm sure we'll get through some of that.
And
But
some of that drama hasn't been our technical difficulties.
no. So yeah, what should we what should we start with?
Well,
Let's
to borrow your pun from
oh
yesterday, should
yes.
we dive in?
Let's dive in with some diving. And I'm just gonna start with my my favorite stat from yesterday. Basically, looking at the all the sports, obviously we know that the diving is usually not well. China are usually the favorite for every gold medal, but it never pans out that they do the clean sweep, as has been the case when Britain have won golds at the last two. And I think a lot of the predictions this time are that the Australian Cassel Rossu is going to be the gold medalist in the 10-meter platform. And it's a cool story because he's Australian, but his granddad is French, and he was the gold medalist in the men's cycling sprint race at the 1956 Olympics, which were in Melbourne. So his French grandfather won a gold medal at the Olympics in Australia. Well, his grandson, Australian grandson, won gold medal at the Olympics in
So
France.
it's almost like a fun switcheroo.
It really is. So yeah, I think that's looking like. I mean, China are still going to win loads of gold medals. British team pretty strong. Obviously, Tom Daley going for his fifth Olympics.
Flag bearer Tom Daly, I think it
Yes,
is,
flag
by the way.
bearer Tom Daley. That's his new name. Yeah,
I don't
he's
know if he'll be like carrying a flag he knitted into the opening ceremony.
won't be surprised. Yeah, so it's obviously yeah, he's definitely or him and Noah Williams in the 10-meter synchro. Hopefully they can get on the podium. I think they might. And then obviously I think all of our synchro pairs are probably better than our individual medal hopes. We've got Jack Law and Anthony Harding in the synchro 3-meter springboard. Jack's obviously doing the individual along with Jordan Holden. Noah Williams is doing the 10-meter platform individual with Kyle Kathahi. Oh, sorry, Kathari. That's right. I can say that name. And then women's again, it's probably the Andrea Spendolini Syriacs and Lois Tolson in the synchro, who probably have a better chance maybe than them both individually. And then Yasmin Harper and Scarlett Mew Jensen are doing the synchro springboard, and it's Grace Reed joining Jasmine in the individual. So we always get a medal in the diving, it seems. So
Yeah, it's an exciting team. I think there's a few middle chances there. I wouldn't really back any of them for gold, but I think there could be maybe some bronze or silvers to be picked up by them.
yeah, I think that's fair. That's a good assessment. So yeah, I think that's. I mean, I don't know. I guess in terms of other, I say, I mean, it should just be China. The Americans and the Canadians obviously usually have decent teams. A few Ukrainians and Germans in the mix as well. But yeah, I'm looking at the Aussie to be the one to upset the Chinese.
And then in the same venue will be the water polo in the venue just opposite the Stade de France. There it will be in the women's event. It will be the USA who are the team to beat. They've won the last three gold medals at the Olympics. Adding to that, they've won 5 of the last 6 world titles in this event. The only one that they missed out on was last year in 2023, when they didn't even make the semi-finals, and that gold medal eventually went to the Netherlands. So, so it is possible to beat the USA, but it's going to be an uphill battle. They did reclaim that world title in Doha in February of this year. But the other countries to look at there would be the Netherlands. You can't look past them as last year's gold medalists. And then Hungary, Spain, and Italy also with strong fields. Um, in the men's, it's Serbia who are looking for their third consecutive Olympic gold. Croatia are the world champions from this year. And then it's Hungary, Spain, Greece, Italy. So it's very much a sort of Southern Europe.
Warm
Uh,
places.
sorry,
Warm places where
warm
it's nice
places.
and
Yeah, you
you
can't
can
think why
go.
they'd want to play water polo in a warm place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's very much Southern Europe who are going to be fighting it out for the medals if form is anything to go by.
Yeah, that's kind of usually the usual suspects in that one, isn't it, really? Um
Indeed, it is. Yeah.
um I guess swimming we can tackle now. There's obviously a lot of events here. Um yeah, it's just obviously swimming has a fast turnover anyway, and it's hard to keep up. But I feel like, especially from the British team, it's a lot of the people that were there in Rio and Tokyo. You feel a lot of them are going to be coming towards the end of their kind of swimming career. The likes of Adam Peaty and James Guy. I mean, maybe Duncan Scott as well, but I think he can probably get another one in. Um, yeah, and yeah, it's a decent British team. Obviously, we had a great games in Tokyo. Um, yeah, I think the men's team obviously a lot stronger than the women's on the British side. I mean, yeah, Ben Proud looking good for a medal finally. Hopefully he can do it this time. Matt Richards, obviously world champion as well. Duncan Scott and Tom Dean going again in the medley, which would be interesting. Ollie Morgan had a bit of a breakthrough this year, so keen to see what he can do in the backstroke. Obviously, Adam Peaty, not a favourite for gold, I don't think, but who knows with Adam Peaty? He's a machine. So I think he'll get a medal. What colour is kind of down to him, I think, actually. And I really want to see my main wish from the swimming from a British point of view this year is that Max Litchfield finally gets a medal. I can't have another fourth place, and I think he might get a bronze. I think he might be on the podium this time. He's looking really good this year, and it's kind of his last chance. So yeah, the men's team, like I say, looking really good. Obviously, likes of Luke Greenbank as well in there, and then the women's kind of slim pickings for medals maybe. Anna Hopkin in the sprints, and then Laura Stevens obviously won the world title in the butterfly, but again that was at the worlds that was maybe not as well attended by some of the other nations. And Freya Colbert as well, another world champion, obviously, yeah, world champion. And then yeah, but I think in the medley relay, not medley relay, individual medley, she could carry on our long tradition of having somebody in the final, which is great, and then hopefully get a medal as well because we haven't had, well, we've been close to a medal in that many times, thanks to Hannah Miley. Um, yeah, and I guess globally, there's a lot of the usual names there, like Katie Ledecky, Caleb Dressel, Sarah Sjostrom, Ariana. Obviously, the women's distance, I think, is definitely an excitement with the likes of Summer McIntosh and Ariana Titmus going up against Ledecky. I think the men's, I suppose, the French hopes obviously is Leon Marchand, who I'm just reading this now. Actually, I think they actually changed the schedule so that he could do the double of the men's fly and the men's breaststroke.
At a French Olympics for a
I
Frenchman.
know. Who would have thought? Um, yeah, so he's I guess the poster boy of the swim team. So I expect to see him everywhere. Um, and yeah, other people like David Popovici, Caden McEwen, and then in the distance you got the likes of Fink and obviously Whiffen of Ireland. I mean, Ireland could be, as we'll mention across other events, have a great chance to win a lot of medals at this Olympics. And in the pool, yeah, Dan Whiffen doing the distance and also doing the marathon as well, doing the open water.
And
So
I was going
I
to
don't
say,
know
you
what I'll
mentioned
get.
Ledecky. She's going for a fourth consecutive gold in the 800 meters. If she does that, she'll only be the second swimmer to have won four consecutive golds in a single event. The other being Michael Phelps.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I've had a look at a few predictions, but let me just have a look and see if she's. I'm assuming she's. I've got a few betting odds up here. I think she's 800 free. Is she the favorite? Let me just check. Yeah, she is. She is reasonable favorite over Titmus and Quadralla as well. So yeah, it'd be great if she could do that. So uh, yeah, I don't know. Have you got any other thoughts on any other swims?
Um, I mean, the only other thing I was going to mention is, but you touched on him, Marchand is, and he's going to be the poster boy in the pool. He's going to be the one that the uh, crowds are filling into La Défense Arena, which is a huge rugby stadium that they've putting the pool in. So he's I'm really looking forward to see the atmosphere and the reception for him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't even know where. I haven't looked at where the venues are or anything, so you you can tell me all that kind of stuff. But yeah, looking at the distance, yeah, they have got the bookies have Dan Whiffen as the second favorite in the 15, so and second favorite in the 8, so medals galore. Yeah, and even other medals like obviously like Siobhan Haughey of Hong Kong, who's obviously got Irish heritage as well, so she's looking good for some medals and maybe a gold. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. Swimming obviously gets underway first thing on Saturday, so it's always good to have that in the first week. The last time for a while, because we don't know. Obviously, it's going to switch in LA, and
Yep.
swimming will be in the
At
second week.
IOC, at FINA, at World Athletics. We like it in the first week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Well, I don't. We'll see. See, I'm prepared to give it a go in LA, but it does feel a bit weird. Um, yeah. So that's swimming.
And then another sport that will be sort of featuring early on is the archery. Uh, Typically, South Korea's event, dominance in Tokyo. I think they won 4 of the 5 medals. Um, Last year, however, South Korea had a bit of a collapse at the World Championships. I say collapse; they still won 2 gold medals of the 5 Olympic events, but only 2 in terms of South Korea, where this is um, I think there's a lot of expectations on them to win pretty much every gold medal that's available. So the defending champion in the men's individual is Mete Gazoz of Turkey. Actually, he's the only person who deprived South Korea of a gold medal in Tokyo, and he's also the world champion. So he's probably got a metaphorical target on his back to speak. You don't want a physical one in this sport.
Mm.
Um, but then he's likely to face strong competition from any of the Koreans, that being Kim Woo Jin, Kim Jae-dyok, Lee Won Seok. Any of them could be taking medals. In the women's event, the world champion is from the Czech Republic, actually, Marie Horachkova. And it will be Lim Si Hyun, who's looking to bring that sort of the front runner of the Korean squad to bring that gold back to where they think it probably belongs.
And it's been what 20 years since Britain won a medal in archery. Any chance this time?
Yep, I'd say there's a perhaps slight outside chance in Penny Healy. She took gold at the European Games last year, and she's won meetings on the World Cup this year. So maybe she can sneak a medal. Who knows?
Well, and she's only just turned 19 this year and was on the Young Spotty shortlist last year.
Yep,
So yeah, no, excited. It's good. Yeah, it's been a while, obviously. So I said 20 years since we won a medal, and it's good that we've got a young talent who could be in the mix.
absolutely.
Okay, that's archery. Is it me next with some badminton?
It is indeed.
Badminton. Yeah, again, it's. I feel like on the men's side in particular, it's Denmark versus Asia. Victor Axelsen hoping to defend his title against the usual suspects in a lot of the Chinese. Obviously, the Chinese guy Shi Yuqi is the top seed, I think. Yes, he is. And then Axelsen second, with his teammate Antonsen fourth. Indonesia obviously aren't going to be overrun with medals in lots of sports, but badminton is very much one of their strong points, and Jonathan Christie is third favorite. And yeah, they have other chances, I think, in a lot of the doubles and even the women's events as well. So yeah, I think Axelsen, I think he can defend his title. I don't see why not. Yeah, and as I mentioned in the doubles, the top favorites are China, Denmark, and India, not Indonesia, with Korea as the fourth seed as well. Women's side, again, it's well, again, a lot of Asian dominance. Korea, China, and Chinese Taipei are the top 3 seeds with An Se-young, Chen Yufei, and Tai Tzu-ying for Taipei. Who it'd be nice to see Chinese Taipei maybe win the gold. Who knows?
Well, yeah, the men's doubles won the gold in a big upset in Tokyo.
Yeah, so exactly. It could happen again, and they could get some more bling. Uh, Carolina Marin, obviously of Spain, was a long time world number one. She's down to say down to only down to fourth, but yeah, fourth seed here. So if she obviously comes through her group, uh, she'll be a threat. And women's doubles again is much of the same with Asian dominance. China, Korea, Japan top in the top four seedings. Mixed again, much of the same countries, but I think throwing a lot of say Indonesia in particular could have a good chance there. And from a British point of view, it's a very small team. We usually obviously it's almost like they've had their funding cut. It's a very small team, probably the smallest we've had. We're literally sending three people. Uh, Kirsty Gilmore is going for individual. I think she's ranked. I can't remember where she's ranked actually. She's top, just in the top 20 maybe. Um, yeah, she's got one of the Chinese in her group, but also someone from Azerbaijan. So fingers crossed. But again, it's I think is it only the top person? Yeah, it's only the winner of each group that goes through. So it's a bit of a tricky one. I was checking. Yeah, she's with. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. She might come through. And then the men's doubles, Ben Lane and Sean Vendy are Britain's hope. I think they're in a yeah they are in the group with the top seeds, and probably between them and the Malaysians to try and get that second spot out of the qualification into the quarterfinals. So yeah, small team for Britain, but yeah, it looks like it'll be Asian dominance with a bit of Denmark and Spain thrown in for good measure.
Exciting. I realise that we've got a run of sports that we've all assigned to you here. So,
Is it? Is it me next again? Oh, it's boxing, isn't it? Is it boxing next? No, I haven't got my. Where's my list?
well, it depends where you put basketball, but
Oh, I have. Yeah, no, you're right. It is basketball. Uh, USA, USA. That is what's going to happen here. I think. I think it's usually the gold medals that go to America, and I don't see it being much different to be honest. Especially obviously the men's side with their flag bearer LeBron James, him and Coco Gauff of tennis. What a power team that is for the flag bearers, by the way. LeBron James. I mean, you don't get bigger global stars than those two in a lot of sports, so it's great that they've done that. Um, yeah, obviously USA. I can't see them losing it. I don't know. Don't know how they would really. I don't know who's going to beat them. So USA should win the men's and yeah, probably the women's as well. So let me just double check who. Does it even say who's what the draw is? Here they're in pot. I was looking at the draw. They're in pot one. I don't know if that means anything. Yeah, I don't know if there's a seedings anywhere, but yeah, USA, Canada, Serbia, obviously France. The French team is pretty good on the men's side, so they could probably get on the podium. But keep an eye on Germany and Australia on the men's side. Australia got the bronze last time in Tokyo. Uh, USA on the women's side as well. Definitely the favourites. Obviously, they have Brittany. Is it Grenier? What's her surname? I've forgotten. The one who was in prison in Russia.
uh,
I forgot her name.
I forgot
Yeah,
her name.
she's
Brittany.
called Brittany.
It's
Uh,
Brittany, bitch.
yes, basically. Yeah, so she's obviously back in the team. And yeah, it'd be a nice story. She wins the gold as well. Um, yeah, obviously the star power in basketball in general. I mentioned LeBron on the men's side, Steph Curry and Kevin Durant as well in that team. Star power everywhere, so it's going to be good. Yeah, and on the women's side, a bit closer, I think, to the minor medals. I don't quite know where they're going to go. 3 by 3, obviously a little bit more open. The Americans won't be dominating this as much. I think Serbia, well, Serbia and America, Lithuania maybe on the men's side with Latvia as well, and the French have got good chances basically in all the basketball, which is really good to see, especially yeah on the women's side as well. And then also who else was I going to give a shout out to? I was going to give a shout out to was it South Sudan who have what did they qualify in? They qualified in the men's basketball, I think. I've lost my notes are all over the place, but yes, men's basketball, South Sudan. Keep an eye out for them. Be good, a good story. Nice to see them have a team. I think actually that might be aside from maybe one athlete. I think that's the only, as in track and field athlete. I think that's the only teams they're sending. So yeah, exciting.
Exciting. And then
It is
pivoting
boxing now,
from
isn't it?
basketball to boxing, what do we have to look forward to in that?
I'll be honest, I haven't gone through every single weight category. But I've mainly just looked at the countries that are going to win, and it is looking at a lot of predictions at the bets and a lot of prediction competitions. A lot of well, yeah, wide range of countries could be on the podium here, which is a little bit not unusual, but you usually get a lot of like Cubans and Americans. But Uzbekistan looking like they might have a good games, a few medals there. Obviously, like I said, Cuba as well. And yeah, the home team as well. Let me just double check who was on the French team who I earmarked for a medal.
This is a very difficult sport to call because, of course, it's not quite still amateur. It's still sort of separate from what you would consider pro boxing. So it's you are sort of looking at a very sort of limited pool that's there for a very short period of time before it all changes over for the next Olympics.
Will it even be in the next Olympics? Because is it currently not officially? But it might.
Um,
It's not. I don't know if it's officially been
I
taken off
think
yet. But
there have been issues with it because of issues with the Boxing Federation. I believe that the
yeah,
IOC have been administering it directly and organising these competitions directly. So yeah, I think there might be a bit of a question mark hanging over it. But at the same time, it's one of the longest standing Olympic sports. I could see why they would want to keep it in the
yeah.
program.
I think a lot. I think it should stay. But that's my opinion. So, yeah, Sofiane Ouima is the French maybe medal hope on their boxing team. Uh, yeah. So yeah, I think so. Nice different spread of medals, different countries. So yeah, and from a British point of view, I it's not it's a decent team. I'm not going to say they're going to. I think hopefully one of them might get a medal, but we've got Lewis Richardson in the men's light middleweight, Patrick Brown in the men's heavyweight, Delicious Ori, who obviously has the best name of the games. He's in the super heavyweight. He'd be a good chance, hopefully. And then women's side, Charlie Davidson, women's bantamweight, Rosie Eccles in the women's welterweight, and then Chantal Reed in the middleweight. So, um, yeah, hopefully one of them can get, or more than one of them can get on the podium. But it's looking a bit tough this time.
Mm, interesting to hear. Um, so our next event is the canoe slalom. I'm really looking forward to this actually. I've got tickets to it on Saturday, and I've kind of got high expectations for how it's going to be staged because the head of the organising committee for Paris 2024 is Tony Estanguet, who's a three-time Olympic champion in canoe slalom. So I'm kind of expecting them to put, perhaps unfairly, a lot of effort into making sure that this is a really fantastic venue and is really well presented. Um, but it's exciting. Not only that, we've got a new event in it, which is canoe and kayak cross, which, if you watch the Winter Olympics and you've ever seen snowboard or ski cross, similar concept. For boats go down at once, they have some obstacles to clear. It's not quite as technical as the individual events, but it's still fiercely competitive and great to watch and actually see them go head to head rather than in a sort of time trial format. Um, the three-time world champion in kayak cross is Joe Clark of Great Britain. So it seems like an odd event to have that level of consistency in.
Yeah, he missed the Olympics last time, so
Yep. Um, and I don't want to get too optimistic because, in my experience with snowboard cross at the Winter Olympics, the Brits never get to do quite as well as we're hoping. But
I don't know. I agree. I think looking even a lot of the Sports Illustrated list of like when they predict all the medals is a bit iffy, but they were very optimistic about Britain's chances as well.
yeah, I think that we do have a great canoe team. Mallory Franklin in the C1 canoe. She is the reigning world champion. Admittedly, that was world champion from it being held at Lee Valley, so she perhaps had a greater level of familiarity with the course and her competitors. But she'll be up against Jessica Fox of Australia,
Flag
who
bearer for
won.
Australia.
Yeah,
She's the flag bearer for Australia.
oh, that's a good choice. And yeah,
Yeah.
she won C1 gold in 2020 and finally getting that Olympic gold that she sort of almost so sorely deserved. And to add to that, she also won a bronze in the kayaking. So
Yes.
uh, fantastic athlete there. And then in the K1, France will be looking to Boris Naveau. Um, this is the men's K1. He's 38 years old, but he's one of the biggest names in the sport. I'm expecting a huge reception for him. Just be interesting to see if his performance can match that reception.
Cool. So
Oh, and is it?
I think, well, yeah, I think we can. I think we can get some medals. I think
Yeah,
there's. I think. I mean, obviously, Mallory Franklin got one last time as well. So yeah, I think Joe Clark, like you say, is pretty consistent. And then this new event, who knows? Who knows?
yeah. I mean, he's got two opportunities here.
Yeah, which is nice. That's why it's nice. It's nice to get another chance. So happy days. What we
Um,
next? Is it cycling next? Is that
it
what we're
is
heading?
cycling next. I guess I'll start with the road. Um,
Yes,
they've
please.
they've kind of shifted the schedule a bit for these Olympics. Normally, the men's road race is on day one and the women's is on day two. They've shifted that about and they've put the time trials first on day one. I think this is related to the Tour de France having finished only last week, so they're trying to just pad that out a bit. So in the time trials, the women's will be the first one. The favourite is probably Chloe Daiger of the USA. She's the 2023 world champion. Um, she's likely to face a lot of competition from the Dutch, Ellen van Dijk and Demi Vollering. Um, but also an interesting sort of name on the entry list in the women's time trial is Taylor Knibb, who after that will be going, after her exploits in the time trial, will be heading off and, well, not heading off far, but she'll be preparing to swim in the Seine, do a cycle and run in the triathlon just a few days later. So I think that's an interesting double. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone do that
Yeah, I don't.
before.
Yeah, I don't think anyone has actually, from off the top of my head.
And then in the men's time trial, it was probably the Belgian Remco Evenepoel, who's the 2023 world champion. He's consistently on the podium. He won he won one of the two time trial stages at the Tour de France, so he's in good form. Uh, One of the people who might also be on the podium with him is Josh Tarling of Great Britain. He's only 20 years old, but he's already won a senior world bronze in the time trial and a senior European gold. He's also got several under 23 medals. So he's perhaps the. I'd say he's our best chance for a road medal, at least on the men's side. And then the road race. The men's is a 273-kilometer course with 2,800 meters of altitude gain across it, which surprisingly isn't as hilly as the last two Olympics. Um, but we've got the big absence here of Pogacar from Slovenia, who withdrew just the other day. Tour de France champion, who was probably the favourite for this, but he withdrew citing exhaustion. And I think there's also a bit of drama with the federation that they didn't select his girlfriend to represent Slovenia
Mm.
as well. So I think that's fueling his decision a bit. Um, Without him, the likely medalists would be I'm gonna butcher this name, but it's Wout van Aert of Belgium and Matthew van der Poel of the Netherlands. Someone I'd really love to see get a medal, but I think it might be asking a bit too much of him on this course, is Binyam Guillaume of Eritrea. In the Tour de France just a few weeks ago, he won. Let's see, was it three? He won three stages. He was the first Black African to ever win a stage at the Tour de France, and he also got the green jersey, the sprinters jersey. So I
I mean,
would
that bodes
really
well,
love
to
it
be fair.
if he
If
could.
you just one stage races, that's what the Olympics is, isn't it? If it's, I don't know. Obviously, you say it's hilly, but I don't know if there's a sprint chance at the end.
Well, if he's there, he's certainly got a chance. Um, the issue perhaps being is that he's likely to be riding solo unless he's
Mm.
sort of teammates from
Yeah.
commercial riding will be there to help him. He's the only Eritrean rider, but if he were to win, he'd be only Eritrea's second Olympic medalist. And from what I understand, cycling is huge in Eritrea. There's always a huge Eritrean contingent at on the sidelines at the Tour de France and whatever cycling race you watch. So that would be massive for them. So fingers crossed for him.
Exciting. Oh,
And
yeah.
then in the women's event, it's probably it's slightly shorter, only 158 kilometers and 1700 meters of altitude. Lotte Kopecky of Belgium is one of the favourites, as is Demi Vollering of the Netherlands and Anna Kaisenhofer of Austria, probably being the other one we'll look to for a likely medal there.
Cool. I mean, Austria won the gold last time, but that lovely runaway best moment of the games for me, one of the best moments of the games when she went off the front and won, and everyone forgot about her. So
And
yeah,
do you want to
uh,
take on the BMX?
yes, I love the BMX. Very excited. And if you're French, you also might love the BMX because the men's race, the BMX like actual freestyle or whatever it is, it's just a race, isn't it? I don't know what they call it now. Is it just a race? They are kind of favorite for a clean sweep, to be honest. I know it's chaos and it can be carnage, but yeah, even like every prediction site I've looked at, rankings, betting odds, they've gone one, two, three for the French. Joris Dade, Roman Mathieu, and Sylvain Andre are the three that they've selected. And I mean, if anyone is gonna spoil the party, I think Britain's Kai White is probably the favourite to do that. Maybe Isaac Kennedy as well, but yeah, I think it's looking good for the French. I mean, again, it is a bit chaotic, but I feel like it's a bit more. No, it's been in the Olympics for a long time now, and it's more of a professional sport, I guess. It feels like it is a bit more solid and consistent. So yeah, the French looking good for the French. On the well, I'll stick to the men's side. I'll just do the men's freestyle. Again, French have got a good chance with Anthony Jean-Jean. He's one of the medal favourites, but I think Logan Martin might be the warm favourite for that one. And then Kieran Riley as well. They're all kind of in the mix. I don't I do I forgot I've already forgotten where my we don't have do we do the Brits have an entrant in this? Let me just double check. Uh yeah, I'll say yeah, Kieran Riley, of course. I just mentioned him. He's one of our medal hopes. He won, yes, he did win the Worlds last year in Glasgow. I thought so, and he got the silver in Munich. I'm just double checking. So yeah, he's uh yeah, a favourite for a medal. I think it should be those three on the podium. And then on the women's side, obviously we have defending champion Charlotte Worthington. Maybe not as a well, I mean, I say she wasn't the favourite last time. Hannah Roberts was the favourite last time, and she's also the favourite again this time. Her and Perez Benegas probably battling it out. I think Charlotte is going to be in the mix, but not sure she's going to get a medal. We'll see. And then back to the racing. It's kind of people who've been around for a while on this one, which is interesting. The Australian Saya Sakakibara, which I finally got right, is the warm favourite ahead of Elise Willoughby, or formerly Elise Post of America, and Best Shriver. Again, obviously she did it in Tokyo, so hopefully she can be on the podium. She's looking good for another medal, but again, whether it be gold, it's like I say, last time the Brits weren't meant to win, and they did. So not, I can't say it's not going to happen again, but it might not. So yeah, it's looking again a good, strong British team. All of them could win medals. None of them could win medals. It's that kind of event, isn't it? So yeah, looking good.
Yeah, some fantastic medals for Britain last time in Tokyo. Would be great if they could be able to recreate them, but BMXing such fine margins and getting, particularly in the freestyle, getting a trick right.
Yeah,
So anything, anything and everything could happen there. The beauty of sport. Um, Over in the mountain biking, another event that Britain had perhaps a bit of a surprising gold medal in 2020, courtesy of Tom Pidcock. He's also the reigning champion in this, reigning world champion is, I should say. Um, so he's looking to defend that title. He's perhaps looking in very good form. He's just got the small matter of the racing on the roads before he heads up to the mountains. So we'll see if that brings any fatigue to him. He's also just finished